I should have known something was wrong when my husband started smelling like Chanel and Degree 5 instead of his usual cologne. But I was too busy building my law practice in Victoria Island to notice that another woman was building a life with my money. My name is Adis, and I'm a senior associate at one of Lagos's top law firms. 34 years old, married for 6 years to Chokudi, a financial consultant who runs his own firm in Lekki. We had everything: a 4-bedroom duplex in Parkview Estate, 2 cars, respect in our church, the kind of marriage people pointed to and said it goes. Or so I thought. It started 3 months ago when I picked up Chokudi's phone to check the time. A WhatsApp notification flashed: "Baby, thank you for last night," smiling face with heart's red heart. My heart stopped. The message was from Ngozi, office. Ngozi, his secretary. The quiet girl with the cheap weaves and the too tight skirts who always called me Momo with that shy smile. The one who'd been working for him for 2 years. "Who's texting you, baby?" I asked, my voice sharper than I intended. Chokudi barely looked up from his laptop. "I beg Adis, no. Client message." You know how these people like to form familiar. I wanted to believe him. God knows I wanted to believe him. But something in my spirit was disturbing me. The thing about being a lawyer is that you develop a nose for lies. And my husband was lying. I started watching. Not obsessively, I didn't have time for that. But I noticed things. How he suddenly started working late 3 times a week. How he bought a second phone he claimed was for business. How he stopped asking about my day, stopped caring if I came home or not. One Thursday evening, I finished court early and decided to surprise him at his office in Lekki Face. 1. I bought his favorite small chops from Sweet Kiwi and headed there, practicing my wifely smile in the car. The receptionist seemed shocked to see me. "Mo, Oga is in a meeting, I'll wait," I said, breezing past her. That's when I saw it. Through the glass wall of his conference room, my husband and Ngozi sat close, too close. His hand was on her thigh. She was laughing, throwing her head back, touching his arm in that way that said, "I'm comfortable with this body." But what broke me wasn't that. It was what she was wearing. A designer Ankara gown that cost at least 85,000 Nigerian nairas. I knew because I'd seen the exact same style at Temple Muse and couldn't justify spending that much on one outfit. Her hair was a Brazilian wig installed that cost minimum 150,000 Nigerian nairas. Her nails were freshly done, gel polish, not the cheap stuff. On her wrist was a gold Pandora bracelet glinting under the office lights. My husband's secretary. The girl who supposedly earned 120,000 Nigerian nairas monthly was living better than me. I reversed out of that parking lot like a thief, my hands shaking so hard I almost hit another car. The small chops remained uneaten on my passenger seat as I drove home in tears, Lagos traffic blurring around me. That night, I couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that bracelet, that hair, that dress. I worked 12-hour days at a corporate law firm. I brought home good money. Yet I was the one cutting costs, wearing the same work clothes on rotation, telling myself, save for the future. While she, that girl, was out here looking like a Lagos big girl. "Che," I whispered in the dark. "Ekwensu." Chukudi came home at 11 p.m., whistling. Actually whistling. "How was your day, baby?" he asked, kissing my forehead like everything was normal. I wanted to scream. Instead, I smiled. "Fine. You?" "Stressful. This business is not easy." "Liar." The word burned on my tongue, but I swallowed it. Because something my mother always told me came to mind: never confront a man with anger. Confront him with evidence. The next morning, I called my girl Tolani. We'd been friends since our Unilag days, and she now worked in forensic accounting. "Tola, I need a favor. I need you to help me trace something." Trace what? My husband's money. 3 weeks. That's how long it took to uncover the truth. And when I tell you what I found, you won't believe it. Tolani discovered that Chukwudi had opened a separate bank account, one I knew nothing about. Over the past 2 years, he transferred over 8.5 million Nigerian nairas into it. Small amounts regularly. 50,000 Nigerian nairas here, 100,000 Nigerian nairas there. Sometimes 200,000 Nigerian nairas. But it got worse. That account was connected to an Ikeja apartment. A 1-bedroom in Omoli Phase 2, rent, 600,000 Nigerian nairas yearly. Paid in full. In Ngozi's name. Jesus Christ, I whispered, staring at the documents Tolani had compiled. Bank statements, property documents, transfer receipts. My husband hadn't just been cheating. He'd been building a whole second life. With my money. Our money. Because you see, Chukwudi's business hadn't been doing well for the past year. He'd been using my salary to keep his office running, to maintain his cars, to pay staff salaries. I'd been the one funding our lifestyle, believing we were saving for our future. Instead, he was spending it on his side chick. The final piece of evidence came from an unlikely source. My house girl, Blessing. Ma, she said nervously one Saturday morning. When Chukwudi had gone to play tennis. I need to tell you something. I no fit hold arm for mine again. What is it? Oga they bring that his secretary here. When you dey office. They use your bedroom. Madam, I sorry. I been won't tell you, but I fear. The room spawn. My own bedroom. My matrimonial bed. The bed where I cried at night when pregnancy wouldn't come. The bed where I prayed for my marriage. That was the day something inside me died. And something else, something harder, colder, was born. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I smiled at Blessing and said, "Thank you. You did well to tell me." Then I went to my bedroom, locked the door, and planned my revenge. See, the thing about being a lawyer is that you know how to build a case. And I was about to prosecute the hell out of my husband. First, I secretly changed all our joint account passwords. I transferred half of everything into my personal account, money he couldn't touch without my signature. I documented every transfer he'd made to Ngozi. I made copies of everything and stored them. With my pastor and my sister. Then, I did what any smart Lagos woman would do. I hired a private investigator. What he uncovered was even more shocking than I expected. Ngozi wasn't just a secretary. She was running a mini business, buying designer items with my husband's money and reselling them online. That Pandora bracelet. Bought by Chukwudi for 95,000 Nigerian nairas. That Brazilian hair. 180,000 Nigerian nairas. She'd been flexing on Instagram, calling herself a boss babe and self-made queen. With my money. But the real cocoa came when the investigator showed me photos from her Instagram story. There was Ngozi, at Second on Betrayal in Lekki, the same restaurant where Chukwudi claimed to have business dinners. There she was at Landmark Beach, wearing a bikini I would never have the confidence to wear. There she was in his car, my car, the one he bought with my contribution. And the caption. Living my best life. God's time is the best. I laughed. A bitter, angry laugh that scared even me. God's time. More like stealing another woman's time. The confrontation happened on a Friday evening. I planned it perfectly. I invited both Chukwudi and Ngozi to our house. Separately. Of course. I told Chukwudi we needed to have a serious talk about his business. I told Ngozi, pretending to be Chukwudi on text, that he wanted to surprise me and needed her help. When Ngozi walked into our living room at 7 p.m. and saw me sitting there with my sister, my pastor, and printed bank statements spread across the table, the color drained from her face. "Good evening, "Mo," she whispered, her confidence evaporating. "Sit down, Ngozi," I said calmly. "Or should I call you boss babe? Self-made queen." She sat. "Mo, I can explain." "Explain what?" My voice was ice. "Explain how you've been sleeping with my husband in my bed. Explain how you've spent over 8 Nigerian nairas. Million of my money in 2 years. Explain how you've been playing me for a fool while I worked myself to death." Tears started rolling down her face. "Mo, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean." "You didn't mean to what?" "To destroy my marriage. To steal from me. To disrespect me in my own house." That's when Chukudi walked in. The look on his face when he saw all of us sitting there, pastor, sister, wife, and side chick, was almost comical. Almost. "Adiz, what is going on?" I stood up, holding the folder of evidence. "What's going on, Chukudi, is that your 2 years of lies just ended. What's going on is that I know everything. The apartment in Omoli. The 8.5 million Nigerian nairas. The fact that while I was breaking my back to keep your business afloat, you were building a second life with your secretary. Baby, I can explain, don't baby me." I shouted, my composure finally breaking. "I am not your baby. Your baby is sitting right there, crying crocodile tears, wearing clothes I paid for." The pastor intervened, trying to calm everyone down. But I was done being calm. Done being the understanding wife. Done being the fool. "You have 2 choices, Chukudi," I said, my voice steady again. "Option 1, we go to court. I sue you for misappropriation of marital funds, and I take you for everything you're worth. Option 2, you sign divorce papers, return every single kobo you stole from me, and I let you walk away with your dignity intact. You have 48 hours to decide." Ngozi tried to speak. "Mo, please," it wasn't like I turned to her. And whatever she saw in my eyes made her shut up immediately. "As for you," I said quietly, "I'm reporting you to EFCC for money laundering and fraud. Let's see how your online business does from prison." I didn't wait for their responses. I walked out of my own living room, got into my car, and drove to my sister's house in Magodo, where I'd already moved some of my things. 2 days later, Chukudi signed the divorce papers. He returned 5 million Nigerian nairas, all he could gather. The rest was gone, spent on a fantasy life that was now crumbling. The apartment in Omoli. I got it in the settlement. I rented it out and used the income to start my own law practice. Ngozi. The threat of EFCC investigation was enough. She resigned and disappeared from Lagos. I heard she moved back to her village in Enugu. Her Boss Babe Instagram page went silent. Now, 6 months later, I'm sitting in my new 2-bedroom apartment in Ikeja GRA, smaller than the Parkview house but wholly mine. My law practice is thriving. I'm sleeping better than I have in years. I'm wearing those expensive Ankara dresses I used to deny myself. I got that Brazilian hair in store. I'm living the life I was working for, except this time, no one is stealing it from under me. Last week, I saw Chukudi at a business event in Eco Hotel. He looked smaller somehow. Tired. He tried to approach me, but I walked past him like he was a stranger. Because that's what he is now. A stranger who once had access to my life and chose to destroy it. My mother called me last night. Adiz, you know it's not too late to forgive him. He's your husband, I corrected her. Was my husband. And no, Mama. Some things you don't forgive. Some betrayals you don't recover from. I'm not interested in taking back a man who valued his secretary over his wife. Looking back now, I realized that the worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was the disrespect. The audacity to bring her into my home. Into my bed, while I was out there working to support us. The wickedness of spending my money to build her up while watching me struggle. But I also realized something else. That experience taught me my worth. It taught me that I don't need a man to validate me. It taught me that sometimes, the dream life you think someone else is living, they are living it with resources stolen from you. And once you take those resources back, their fantasy crumbles, and your reality becomes even more beautiful than you imagined. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Lagos didn't kill me. That betrayal didn't kill me. It made me a woman who knows her value. And that, my dear sisters, is worth more than any marriage certificate.